It's another beautiful day in the desert as the White Sox, who are loving their new digs, play host to the crosstown rival Lupinella's Cubs. It should be a good one right here on Comcast Sportsnet. We are coming to you from Camelback Ranch, Glendale, where this afternoon Comcast Sportsnet presents White Sox baseball. It's Paul Konerko, Carlos Quentin, Jim Thome, and our Sox as they get set to butt heads with Alfonso Soriano and the Chicago Cubs. Hi, everybody, and welcome. With Steve Stone, I'm Ken Harrelson as we get set to bring you the third of 6 coming your way over Comcast this spring. Sox coming into this action today 10-13. The Cubs are 12-12. But one of the nice stories from our standpoint at this point in time is Jim Thome.
Jim Thome's back in the lineup, and last year he hit 34 home runs. He drove in 90. You can pretty much count on those numbers, and now that his back is feeling pretty good, that's a sense of confidence for the Sox. And one of the guys that is making big noise this spring, Josh Fields, Hawk, you saw him a couple of years ago. Is he as good as he was then?
Stoney, he's better right now. Greg Walker and Josh have been working very much, which we'll get into a little later on in the telecast, his launch angle with his right side. It's imperative. It's one like Carlos Quentin has, and they've been trying to model it after Carlos. So Josh Fields at this point hitting almost 400 this spring, looking very great. But sit back, relax, and strap it down because White Sox baseball coming your way.
Because we can't reinvent traffic, we reinvented how the driver navigates around it. With advanced XM real-time traffic and predictive weather, suddenly, the world's not so complex. The all-new 2010 Lexus RX at your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer.
Your dad used to say it's easier to find a job when you've got a job. At Hyundai, we think it's easier to find a job when you've got a car. That's why, for a limited time, we expanded our Hyundai Assurance so that if you lose your income, we'll make your payments for 3 months. And if that's not enough time to work things out, you can return the car with no impact on your credit.
Hyundai gets it. Now you get up to $4,000 cash back. See your Hyundai dealer and myhyundaichicago.com.
Consider how much money you spend every year on dry cleaning. Now consider CD1 price cleaners. With our one everyday low price, you can save up to 62% on dry cleaning. Think about it. You save so much money on dry cleaning clothes, you could buy more clothes. A lot more clothes. CD1 price cleaners. A dry cleaning revolution.
Watching the home of the Bulls, Blackhawks, Cubs, and White Sox. Comcast Sportsnet.
A beautiful day right now. Very quickly, the starting lineup for the Chicago Cubs, leading off Alfonso Soriano. Ryan Theriot, he'll be the shortstop. Reed Johnson in center. Middle third of Bradley, Fox, and Fontenot, and the lower third of Miles, Hill, and Sotoguchi.
Mark Burley on the hill, and you can pretty much count on him for double-figure wins. Last year he won 15. He's not having a great spring so far, but he's doing okay. Doesn't have a record ERA, a little over 4. And year after year, Mark Burley piles up the innings. You can count on 200 innings. He's done that 8 times in a row. And he faces a very potent Cub lineup, although it's not the same lineup that Cub fans will expect to see during the season.
So Burley is ready to go as the 33-year-old veteran Soriano stands in. Soriano hitting at .279 on the spring with 3 homers, 5 RBIs, takes first pitch strike. Alfonso last year hit .280, 29 homers, and knocked in 75. Right off the end of the bat.
Let's take a look at the defense as we swing around left to right. It's Quentin, Wise, and Anderson. In the infield, Fields, Ramirez, Getz, and Konerko, Pierzynski, and Burley.
He gone.
All you have to do is get on top of Soriano, throw him anything off speed or a breaking ball, especially if it's down and out of the strike zone, and you're going to strike him out. He's 140, 150 strikeout man a year, and there's number 1 here today.
So here's Ryan Terrio, shortstop, little chopper, 2 hopper, second baseman. This gets got it very quickly. 2 down.
I talked with Don Cooper before the game today about Mark Burley, and they would like to get 5 innings out of him, and they'd like to keep it to a minimum of pitches. If they can do that, they will consider this particular outing a success.
Here's the center fielder, Reed Johnson. Johnson, a .330 hitter on the spring with a homer. He's knocked in 8.
And yesterday he had a pinch hit 3-run homer. He's going to platoon with Fukudome in center field.
First pitch strike, and here at beautiful Camelback Ranch in Glendale. 345 down the lines, 380 in the gaps, and 410 straight away center. And that's into right field. Can of corn for Brian Anderson, reaches up, hauls it in. Easy inning for Burley, and after a half inning of play, it's the Cubs nothing, and the Sox coming to bat.
Turn a good deal you find online into a great deal. Introducing Added Up. Earn cash back on your online purchases. New from Bank of America. Register your credit and check cards today.
5 trucks, 10 days, hundreds of patio sets, only at the Great Escape and only for 10 days. We purchased 5 truckloads of bulk inventory for this blowout event. Patio sets, fire pits, Weber grills, umbrellas, cushions, and more. 10-piece, 5-piece, even 3-piece bistro sets from only $199. No rain checks, sold on a first-come, first-served basis. And take a sneak peek at our new patio collections and save hundreds with factory cash discounts. Only at the Great Escape.
Escape your everyday. Shop the Great Escape.
People who book with Hotels.com are used to special treatment. They enjoy being pampered and indulged. Or in some cases, grossly overindulged. So we designed a rewards program that meets those high expectations. It's called Welcome Rewards. Book 10 nights wherever you want, even in different hotels, and get a free night. Welcome Rewards from Hotels.com. It's not special treatment for your jacket. It's special treatment for your wallet.
You want to save. We want to help. Come into a Bank of America banking center and open a new checking account because we're offering a $50 bonus as a head start on saving at Bank of America.
And right now, let's check out Ozzie Guillen's starting lineup against the 6'7" southpaw Sean Marshall. Leading off in right field, Brian Anderson. Chris Getz hit second, play second. Carlos Quentin in the third hole. He's in left. Middle 3 of Tomey, Konerko, and Pierzynski. In the bottom third, Ramirez, Fields, and Wise.
Sean Marshall is on the hill. He's 6'7", doesn't throw overly hard, but tops out about 91, 92 miles an hour. Lifetime 16 and 22 in the major leagues. Lifetime ERA of 4.62, and he's having a very good spring. He appears to have won the 5th starting spot. The defense has a lineup behind him, left to right: Soriano, Johnson, and So Taguchi in right. In the infield, Fontenot, Terrio, Miles, and Fox. It's going to be Coy Hill behind the plate, and he's trying to edge out Paul Bacco as a backup catcher behind Soto, and the aforementioned Sean Marshall on the hill.
So here's Brian hitting at 279, 3 homers, and 8 ribbies on the spring.
We saw 2 of those home runs the last game we telecast.
Yes, we did, and of course, if you missed that, bottom of the 9th, Sox packed, and you can put it on the board. Mercer, a bomb, the second bomb of that game. He's at 3, and all 3 of them have been prodigious at breaking ball down low. So you'd have to consider, Brian hitting at 279. There's 3 ways to hit 279 on a steady basis: going down or going up.
I think his stock is going up
Yes,
because
it
he
is.
started out a little slowly this spring, but he looks like he's starting to get the swing grooved. The big part about that Grand Slam home run was the fact that he hit it off a right-hand pitcher after homering off a left-hander the first time up.
Outfield
Walker
straight
looking
up.
out.
And there's a strike, even to count at 2. There is a possibility today, Stone Pony, that this game will set an all-time Cactus League attendance record.
This has been a sellout for quite some time. It's just a question of everybody getting here and situated.
3 hopper. 1 out. And of course, throughout the game, we're going to have some guests for you. 3rd inning, we're going to have Joey Cora. 5th inning, Kenny Williams. And 7th inning, Brooks Boyer. Tell you about things that are going on. So a lot to talk about today as Chris Getz will stand in. Chris hitting at .333, a homer. He's driven in 6. Takes the fastball strike.
Well, Chris had a pretty good idea that he was going to be in a big battle at second base, and at least to this point it looks like he's got a leg up on the competition.
And that one leg being, you know what you got with Chris Getz.
There's no question he's having an excellent spring.
Big hack, no contact, and the count 1-2.
And Hawk, you'd have to figure when Nix got hurt, they probably figured Lillibridge as the utility man. And it seems like Getz has a pretty good shot at the job.
Well, you know, the funny thing about it, when Nix got hurt for the 2nd time this year, a lot of people down here were liking him. He was swinging the bat extremely well.
Well, that was the one thing surprised me, because he can field with anybody.
Yeah,
they knew that coming
to you about
in.
him early in the spring.
But boy, he was swinging the bat real well.
Fouls it out of play. Well, you know, he's what, 26 years old, and when you're 26, 27, 28 in that window, a lot of guys, that's when they find that click. That's when they find out either they can hit or they keep struggling.
Well, you also can't afford, once you have an opportunity to compete for a job, you can't afford to get hurt. Unfortunately, he did.
Right. But again, the extended spring, you don't know. We still have 16 games left. Is that breaking ball? Good check right there by Getz. So it's too early to be trying to define each and every questionable position. There's plenty of time to let these players make that decision for you. 2 down. If it was a situation we had 5 or 6 games left, then you might say, well, Brian Anderson's got a bigger leg up in center field. But Brian can play 2 or 3 games. They can play Jerry Owens out there 2 or 3 games. They can play Wayne Wise out there 2 or 3 games, and then bring Brian back. And so there's plenty of time left.
Well, last year opening day was March 31st. This year it's April 6th, and that extra week is going to help some of the nicked up players to get healthy.
Carlos takes the curveball strike.
That's what
touched on it last telecast, Stoney, as far as it really is going to help Contreras and Bartolo.
There's no doubt about it, and I think Contreras will be there and ready.
But yesterday he was all over the place.
One of those just bad days. Everything was bad. Location was bad. Velocity was down. Arm angle wasn't where he needed it to be. But they're writing that one off as just one of those days, and they still expect that Jose is going to be ready when the bell rings. A little more doubtful is Bartolo Colon. That means Richard probably will get the starting spot.
One hopper to Terrio. And a nice 1-2-3 inning right there for Sean Marshall. After 1, no score.
Rascal Flatts American Living Unstoppable Tour 2009. Unstoppable. With very special guests Vince Gill and Darius Rucker. Saturday, July 18th at Wrigley Field. Tickets are on sale now. Online at tickets.com or charge by phone at 1-800-THE-COPS. Rascal Flatts. Presented by JCPenney and US 99. Produced by Live Nation.
All right, look, at O'Dark 30, you're not just hitting the snooze button. You're already a job and a half into the day. And there's one brand of trucks that's right there with you. Ford F-Series. The best-selling trucks for 32 straight years. And because the all-new 09 F-150 is smarter, more productive, and tougher than ever, it's been named the 2009 Motor Trend Truck of the Year. Hey, America's best-selling trucks are built Ford tough.
Get an F-150 with 0% financing or $4,000 cash back plus $1,000 bonus cash.
Dodge. Visit a Ford store or ChicagoFordDealers.com.
Opening day doubleheader.
This is always the most exciting day of the season.
Opening day doubleheader.
There's a deep drive to left, and it's a two-run homer.
White Sox, Royals, Cubs, Astros. Opening day doubleheader. White Sox, Royals, Cubs, Astros. April 6th on Comcast Sportsnet. April 6th on Comcast Sportsnet.
White Sox group and party area outings. Priority seating for your group of 20 or more fans. You can save $1 to half off each ticket depending on the size of your group in the party areas like the fan deck, warning track, or an individual game diamond suite. Place your order today by calling 312-674-1000 or visit whitesox.com for more details.
Switch hitting DH today. Milton Bradley takes ball one. Bradley hitting at .350 on the spring. No homers. He's driven in 2. As there's a strike on the outside corner.
And Hawk, he was an important part of the addition during the wintertime because they looked to him as a run producer.
Just off the edge. Well, last year at Texas, 321, 22 homers, and drove in 77. There's a two-hopper. Alisay's got it. 1 out. Bradley last year won 97 games.
And Bradley went down the line real well, and that's good news as far as the Cubs are concerned because he started out the year with a quad problem, but apparently it's okay. And 97 games led the National League in that department.
I thought last year the Cubs had the best team in the National League.
There was no doubt about it.
There's a chopper. Josh Fields. Now double punch, but does not get it. A little double clutch right there cost him, so Jake Fox beats it out.
I would think that has to go E5, wouldn't you?
Double clutch.
Fox is not going to beat out too many. Once you have it and double pump, pretty hard to get that man to first base.
They gave him a hit, but it should have been an error. You bobble it in your glove, it's the same thing as bobbling it on the ground.
I understand it, but Christmas comes early.
Here's Fontenot. Third baseman takes first pitch strike. But Josh Fields has looked like a different guy at third this year. His footwork has been much better, and one of the reasons being he's got 2 healthy knees. Last year he was playing virtually on one leg. The other is he did extensive work with Joey Cora.
Well, I think the White Sox were very happy that he made the effort to call up Joey and work with him in Florida and get used to a changed pattern of footwork at third base. You don't have to be fast, you just have to have first step quickness.
Most of the great third basemen we've seen in the last 50 years couldn't run a lick.
No, you got that right. Between Brooks Robinson, Robin Ventura, they don't run fast.
Greg Nettles.
But first step quickness.
Fouls that one back. Clete Boyer. I mean, a lot of the great third basemen, but that quickness is what it's about. That first step. That's why they call it the hot corner. You only have time for that first half step. They got 1 and 3 on the board out there. I have to amend that as that's fouled away.
Yeah. Mike Fontenot is playing third base today. He's going to be getting a lot of work at second base. In fact, I talked to Lou earlier, and Lou said that he wants 500 at-bats for Terrio at short, and he's going to try to get 300 at-bats each for Miles and Fontenot, and they're going to move him all over the infield.
Well, that's a little bit of Earl Weaver's philosophy there. Have 4 outfielders get in 100 games and 5 infielders get in 100 games.
Well, that's the only way really to keep your stroke, and he thinks that Fontenot will give them the left-handed run production that they need. He's not going to be a huge run producer, but he makes some problems for the right-handed pitchers. They saw against the Dodgers in the playoffs, they've got to have somebody from the left side who can handle a good right-handed slider.
Out in front of the breaking pitch. And of course, for some of you youngsters out there who don't know who Earl Weaver was, he's a Hall of Fame manager, formerly of the Baltimore Orioles, and justifiably a Hall of Famer.
Well, he managed to average 98 wins a year. And if you manage long enough, that'll usually get you into the Hall.
1 out, 1 on. The 1-2 pitch. He did not go.
Fontenot came over from the Baltimore Orioles. He was a guy that nobody had heard of, but actually was the battery mate of Ryan Theriot. We'll take another look at the check swing. Of course, if you're on the mound or behind the plate, you want that, but didn't get it.
That's poked out in the left field. And Carlos is there. 2 down. Earl Weaver was first met Earl in 1962 when he was managing at Elmira, and he was the only manager coming up through the minor leagues that everybody knew was going to turn out to be a major league manager.
Well, he had the good sense to realize that he ran out of talent very early, and he best learned how to manage if he was ever going to see the major leagues.
He could do that. And he was an umpire baiter.
Yes. Palmer used to tell him, don't come out to the mound and talk to me, because the only thing you know about pitching is you couldn't hit it. So go back there and I'll take care of what's going on out here.
That's a true story.
Yes.
2-1 to count.
They traded Mark DeRosa, we're talking about the Cubs, to the Cleveland Indians, much to our dismay, because DeRosa's a really good player. In his stead, they have Aaron Miles, who is a switch hitter and can play a few different positions, not nearly as well as DeRosa, however.
Well, as we were talking prior to the game, that's a move right there. It's got a chance to jump up and bite him.
And I think, Hawk, the only reason why they did that was that they were so right-handed that they wanted a way to get the left-handed bat in the lineup, and that's either Miles from the left side or Fontenot.
Smoke. Josh going to pick up another error right here. Well, actually, they gave him a hit on the other one, so that's his first error, but it should have been 2. So just as we were talking about Josh earlier, a tough inning here in the top of the second.
With Mark Burley on the mound, the left side of the infield is going to get a lot of work, because he's going to throw some changeups, and right-handers are going to be out in front of most everything. And when he throws that cutter inside, they have to pull that ball. So you got to be on your toes if you're on the left side.
Koye Hill, the catcher, takes it high and wide. Hill having a big spring. 394, a homer, and he's knocked in 6. So Koye Hill just ate him up right there. Shuffles it over to Getz, and that'll retire the side. So Mark Burley picks up Josh Fields, and after an inning and a half, no score.
White Sox baseball is brought to you by MLB 09 The Show, only on PlayStation.
Dear PlayStation, MLB 09 The Show thinks I can't hit the high and inside fastball. You're gonna fix that, right?
Well, Dustin, PlayStation gamers demand the most realistic baseball game ever, so we're just going to keep it as is. It's called integrity.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just polishing my MVP trophy. How many MVPs do you know that can't hit that pitch?
Apart from you?
MLB 09 The Show, the most realistic baseball game ever. Rated E for everyone.
Call the flooring experts at Luna. Luna installs around your schedule, and they guarantee installation for life. With a low price guarantee and 2 rooms for the price of 1, there's no need to shop at a big box store.
773-202 Luna.
It's a little tradition in honor of my White Sox. I stopped shaving from the last game of the season all the way until opening day. My wife is not crazy about it. She leaves little hints. See, once it gets down to my belt, I know it's time for the pitchers and catchers to report. And when it gets down to my zipper, it's opening day. I don't need a calendar anymore. It's like a sundial. It's like a hair dial.
Sports Night, every night on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend.
Tomorrow, Aramis Ramirez and the Cubs continue to prepare for opening day when they battle the Seattle Mariners in Mesa. Don't miss the Cubs and Mariners tomorrow at 3 right here on Comcast Sports Net. Fans' best friend.
Jim Thome will lead it off. Sean Marshall with an easy 1-2-3 inning in the first. 3 ground balls, 2 to short, 1 to second. Here's Thome hitting at 200 on the spring with a homer. Marshall just coming right at him. Most important pitch in baseball. First pitch strike. Curveball and the count 0-2.
Hawk, you hit a lot of home runs during the course of your career. Did you ever go up there looking first ball curveball?
Never.
This first ball fastball. You got it?
Right.
You hit it.
That's it. He's just coming right at him. Well, you know, even off a pitcher like yourself, who was a Cy Young Award winner in 25 games, and you were a breaking ball pitcher. You had an outstanding curveball. I'm still looking dead red.
Eddie Murray told me the same thing. He said, see Thome go down on strikes, and that was a fastball. He said, I don't want to hit the curveball first pitch. He said, I'm looking fastball, hoping that if he throws a curveball, he misses with it, because eventually he's going to have to come back to me with a fastball. Hit 504 home runs and made it to the Hall of Fame as a prolific switch hitter.
Well, Eddie Murray was in my career in this game, which encompasses all the parts of 6 decades, and next year will be parts of 7 decades. Eddie Murray is the best first baseman I've ever seen. People forget his first 8 or 10 years. He was an outstanding defensive first baseman, and he was a great 7th, 8th, and 9th inning hitter.
And I don't think that people realize that he came up as a designated hitter. He didn't even play first base because Lee May was there.
The 2-1 pitch to Konerko.
It's a pleasure to see Paul having the kind of spring that he's having, because a healthy Paul Konerko is certainly going to mean a pretty quick start for the Sox this year, especially with Joe Mauer today in the newspaper saying he hasn't swung a bat yet and doesn't believe he's going to be ready for opening day.
There's that little short, sweet swing by Konerko. So the Sox pick up their first hit. But last year, with the bone bruise he had, his swing was long, and he couldn't cover the fastball. And you take any power hitter like Konerko, you take a power hitter like Thome or Jermaine Dye, if they can't cover the fastball, they're not going to swing it that well.
Well, you saw that ball being away from Konerko. If he tries to roll over on it, he's going to ground to the left side. But by staying right with it and driving it to right field, again, we've got a lot of scouts here. They're going to put that in the book. And you do that only so many times before the pitcher starts to come in, and that's where Paul wants him to come, inner half.
Here's A.J. A.J. hitting at .424 this spring. Pops it up. Watch out. And so Taguchi, a long way to make that play.
Well, normally you would think Reed Johnson would have taken over on that. I don't think he saw the ball, because center fielder's the captain, and that ball was up a long time. No doubt Johnson should have called for it, but nobody takes over, and eventually Taguchi, who was hustling on the play, he came a long way from right field, and that ball looked like it was going to drop. Taguchi put it away.
Here's Alisei hitting at .275. Last year, of course, 290, 21 homers, 77 knocked in. Well, that's one of the big differences I've seen in this ballpark so far as opposed to Tucson. In Tucson, almost every day, it was a high sky. We don't have the high sky here. You always said we've had clouds every day that we've been here. So that makes a tremendous difference. That ballpark in Tucson was the toughest park I have ever seen for a center fielder to have to play, ever. When it made Ken Griffey Jr. in his heyday look foolish out there, you know there was something wrong.
There's some, depending on the weather, obviously there's some ballparks here that are pretty tough. We'll take a look around at this beautiful and packed ballpark.
That ball is shot down hard the right side. But getting back to Konerko, when you have a bone bruise like that, you cannot control the bat, especially if you're a strong guy like Paulie. So your swing is you're going to start trying to cheat on that fastball to cover it. And of course, when you do that, your swing gets bigger. Paul Konerko, outside of Al Kaline, maybe those are the two sweetest right-handed strokes I have ever seen. And Al Kaline was a Hall of Fame outfielder for the Tigers. That ball in the dirt. Paulie's going to very quickly move into second base.
And that's one of the things that the Sox have been working on, and that is, as soon as they see a breaking ball, they see it in the dirt, they anticipate moving to second base. Coy Hill did a nice job of blocking the ball, but there wasn't much he can do because this is a curveball. The spin takes it the opposite way from the way that it's breaking, and Paul, who doesn't run real well, winds up with a heads-up base running play in scoring position.
2 out, and the 2-2 pitch. Took a little something off that hook. That's a nice pitch by Marshall. Punches out Alisei, and we'll go to the third.
H&R Block certified tax professionals will do your taxes right. Last year, we found errors on 4 out of 5 returns prepared by others, saving people thousands of dollars. Already filed your taxes with someone else? Let us take a second look for just $29.
64 teams came, and then there were 4. See college basketball's biggest event on Chicago's biggest screen. The semifinals live at the venue, exclusively at Horseshoe.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Chicago White Sox and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Chicago White Sox.
Frustrated with your career? Been downsized, laid off, or outsourced? Then you must attend the Franchise Show Chicago this Friday and Saturday. The nation's most successful franchises will show you why it pays to own a business. Franchise Show Chicago at the UIC Forum in downtown Chicago. Just pre-register at franchiseshowchicago.com and you're entered to win an Apple Vacations getaway to the Occidental Grand at Xcaret in Riviera Maya, Mexico. Find your future now at franchiseshowchicago.com.
Okay, give me my remote.
Get it, Jim. You had way too much cable.
You said you were going to get DirecTV. I'm fine, really. So digital picture doesn't mean anything to you? But what about your friends and your family?
I just want to watch the game. That's the cable talking, Jim. That game isn't even in HD.
Friends don't let friends watch cable. Refer a friend or family member to DirecTV, and you'll get $50, and they'll get $50 on top of our best offer.
You listening?
No score, top of the third inning. And joining us now down in the dugout is our bench coach, Joey Cora. Thanks for coming on, big guy.
How you doing?
All right. Well, we're talking, Steve and I were talking in between innings here.
It's going to get ugly here in a second, man.
No.
You know that.
You know, you worked very hard with Josh's footwork.
I know.
Did you work with anything on the glove?
Not today.
You just dealt with the footwork, so he's in position now when he drops those.
He's having a tough day. It's going to be a good interview so far.
It's a good thing we got you today, huh?
Wow, yeah.
Joey, big and serious again. He looks like a different guy this spring. Of course, last year he had the bad leg, the bad knee, you know, but he looks like a different player this spring.
He's doing well. I mean, today he's having a tough day, and I'll be honest with you, he had you know, that's something that's going to be addressed, obviously, but he's doing better, and he's healthy, and he's working hard. He's hitting the ball good, and so far so good. Other than the first 2 innings of today's game.
That pitch low and away, 2-2.
You got a youngster at second base, Joey, in Chris Getz. How's he look to you?
Oh, he's solid. He's a solid ball player. These guys, man, that's not right. But we're very young in the infield there. Josh Field's going to be young. I mean, Alexei, he's young, and Chris Getz is young too. But they're athletic, and they're going to make some plays that you're going to go, wow. And sometimes they're going to make some plays that you're going to say, oh, my God, what are they doing? But they're going to try hard. They're going to work hard. And at the end of the day, I think they're going to be it's going to be a very solid infield.
Well, you know, the interesting things is Stoney, as I was talking about earlier in the game, at second, you know, you've got some guys out there, but the one person, as that pitch fouled away, the one person that you know what you got is Getz.
He's solid. He's solid. Everything that's going to be hit to him, and he hits the glove, you're going to be out. He's going to make all the plays, the routine plays. That's what you want from the second baseman. He's going to turn the double play, and he seems like he's going to be a pretty decent hitter too. So he's going to be fun to watch. I think a guy like that coming through the ranks, you know, from rookie ball all the way to the big leagues, working hard all the way through, and finally making. We give it a chance, and hopefully he'll make us look good.
And Joey, we know he's sent down to the minor leagues, but Diane Viciedo, everybody talking about his power, but I know you worked with his footwork at third base, and how do you think he looked before you guys sent him down?
He was getting better. You know, I think when he came over, all he wanted to do is hit, and probably when he was there in Cuba, 16 years old, hitting bombs, all he cared about was hitting, but he knows that if he wants to be in the big leagues, he's going to have to work on his defense, and he's been doing that. Not only he did that with us, he's been doing it ever since he got sent down, and that guy is going to be special. Honestly, he got all the tools. You know, he looks big, but he's not big. He's strong. He's a strong guy. We call him the Tank for a reason. And he's going to be fun to watch here in a couple of years when he makes it. People are going to be excited about him.
Oh, Joey, during your career, don't you find that pretty common with young players, especially guys who are as strong as he is, to come up and all of a sudden they pop up or they ground out or they strike out and they take that at bat with them out defensively?
Well, yeah, I mean,